Hey guys, welcome to Tuesday. I appreciate you stopping by. I've got a great brand for you to be on the lookout for. Come on in with me, let's check it out. Hi, and thanks for coming in and spending a few minutes of your day to learn about a brand that I think it's a brand that you need to be on the lookout for as a reseller. With this brand, I bought 3 products today for a total of $5, $4.99 a piece, and I should make close to $300 profit, including shipping. So I want to go talk a little bit more about the category these items are in before I actually get into the actual brand and the items. So if you haven't guessed by now, my favorite category to sell in on eBay is electronics. And this is the category that this be on the lookout item is in. I love selling electronics. They're very profitable, especially the vintage stuff that's harder to find. These items are probably a handful of years old, the 3 that I bought today. But I love taking the approach with electronics that I'm not afraid to buy something if I know whether it works or not. There's been several items I've purchased in the past where I pick it up, I pull a comp on eBay and look at solds, and even for parts and repair, I can make big money. Probably about 3 or 4 months ago, I bought a calculator at a thrift store, and it was marked $1.99, $2.99, something like that. I went to pull the comps. I think it was either a TI, a Texas Instruments, or a Casio calculator. It was not a new calculator. It was not a graphing calculator. It was a calculator that you could program to do things. This calculator, when I looked it up, for parts and repair, it sold for $35. So I have no risk. If I get it home, it doesn't power on, I put that in my listing, I list it, I get $30 to $35. Working was in the $80 or $90 range, if I remember right. I think with that calculator, all I had to do is go buy a $3 or $4 battery to put in it. I powered it on. I was very relieved that it powered up so I could get that higher value. I think I mentioned it in a video. Go back and check out a video. It's probably been 3 months ago if I had to guess, but it was a great pickup. But the point I want to make is don't be afraid to pick up items in the electronics if you comp them and you see high dollar prices for solds, but you don't know whether the item works or not. So many people complain about testing electronics. Some items you can get in, test, they don't work, you can listen for parts and repair and still make really good money. This brand is one of those, and this is what drew me to it. There's a good number of brands this way. I always pick up anything old when it comes to Hewlett-Packard HP calculators. I sold an HP calculator for almost $200 one time. It was probably one from the early 80s. It was really cool. But don't be afraid of electronics. I'm not saying go out and buy a truckload of electronics thinking you can sell everything and make good money on something for parts to repair. Just don't be afraid of buying electronics because they may not work. You just got to be selective. When you pull your comps, look at the same item for parts and repair, or just parts, and see if your comps are looking good. But I know you're here to hear about that, but let's go ahead and get into the brand that I want to talk about. So this is not a brand that's probably new to anybody, but I just wanted to bring out some ideas, some thoughts on the brand and how well this brand sells for parts and repair. Let me grab one right here. So this brand is, wait, stop. If you think you know what it is in electronics and what brand it is, pause the video, go down there and make a comment, please. Let me know what brand you think it is and how well it sells for parts or repair. Okay, did you make that comment? Are you sure what it is? If you haven't, stop, pause it again. No, really, this time, go down there and make a comment. Let me know which brand you think it is. I'll give you a hint. The first letter of the brand is in the first half of the alphabet. Somewhere in there. That gives you 12 or 13, however many would be half. But, all right, here we go. No more wait. It is Bose, B-O-S-E. They make great AV equipment. I was at my thrift store on my way home from the meeting I had downtown, and walked into the thrift store, and first place I always go in this thrift store. It's a relatively small thrift store. It's privately owned. It's not a big chain. They've got 2 locations in our Birmingham area, but their electronics are not really well organized. If they have items that potentially go together, they're not always positioned on the shelves together. I saw this one. Bose, everything has this black black metallic looking. But this is actually a Bose AV35. It's an AV controller. It was closed up like this. You may not have recognized it. A lot of people may have thought it may have been like a DVD player or something. If I remember right, something was even sitting on top of it, but I recognize that color. And Bose is a great brand. I pick up anything Bose that I can if it's priced reasonably. Some thrift stores will overprice it. They know what the value is. How well you can see this, I paid $4.99. It says as is. This thrift store does not do a very good job of testing items. Usually when they have something that's marked as tested, that just means they plugged it in, they turned it on, make sure it powered on. But anyway, more about Bose. I immediately grabbed this one. This was the only item that was right there on the shelf, and I grabbed it. Bose is really good for showing you their model number. This is the AV35 console. It's actually like a switch box where you plug in all of your HDMI or component video items, and you push the buttons to switch between those different ones. So when I comped a Bose AV35 controller, I saw great comps. I got all excited. I even went back and looked at for parts. For parts, this item untested goes anywhere from $60 to $120 plus shipping. And there are some solds at $120 plus ship. The problem with testing this unit, and the problem you'll have with some Bose equipment, is that they take proprietary power supplies. I've got another Bose item over here I'm going to show you in a second that does not take a proprietary power supply, but this one does. Look at the pin out connection on that power cord. That's going to be something you can't just go get a universal charger to work with this. I've looked on eBay to see if I can find a charger. The chargers are like $60. The remote, this came with the remote, so you could switch between your components. The remote itself sells for $80. Are you seeing a pattern here? Bose is money. So I think I found a I think in working condition this one sells for about $2.99. That's even without the remote. I'm debating on whether I just want to list it for parts for that 120 plus ship, or if I want to order the power adapter. If I can find a decently priced power adapter, I think I'm gonna go that route. But yeah, $4.99 into at least 120. I'll take it every day. The second item is a Bose sound dock. I typically don't pick these up as much. Again, this was another $4.99. It is not related to the AV controller that we just talked about. It's a different system. It is a sound dock. It's got the old 30 pin where you plug in the older iPhones, or I guess you couldn't fit an iPad in there. The main reason I grabbed it, and I knew I could test it, is it came with a, wow, this is an Apple adapter. This is actually an Apple branded adapter. Goes from 30 pin to Lightning. Actually, if you buy that, that's probably a $5 to $10 adapter. So for the $4.99 I paid for it, I covered it with just this little small adapter. If you look at comps on these, there's a board in here that works with this tray that does the sound processing for this sound dock. That board by itself, right here, if you pull this little board, it's got a board in it that does the sound processing, goes for $20 plus shipping. So that board plus this adapter is at $25, and I paid $4.99. There's also two speakers in here. I'll probably end up parting this out after I test it. It does take a 20-volt DC power adapter, but it is a standard connection. See the male pin in there? All I need is a female 20-volt adapter, which should not be too hard to find. Actually, I think I've got one that goes with a laptop I might be able to use, but this will be a good item to part out after I test it. There's other pieces inside there. I think soles on this this model without the remote are in the $20 range, $20, $25. So still, I could sell it individually. It's kind of heavy. The shipping might hurt me a little bit on that, but still, don't pass these up. All right, last item, and it's a big one. See how well I can get it over here. Ugh. These are powered subwoofer. It is a Bose PS48-3 powered subwoofer. Probably weighs about 15 pounds, maybe a little bit more. They are great. They have a product line called Acoustimass that's popular. All these have, it's made for a surround sound system with all the surround sound speakers, the little small ones. It may have been donated with the first Bose unit that we looked at, that console unit. It is compatible with that. It does just use a standard small power cord, like the one that you would have on the back of your like DVD player or your set-top box for your cable, your satellite company. But it was a great pickup. It did not have a price on it. It had a sticker on it that said as is, which I should be able to test it with the inputs I've got, and I can get a standard power cord to test it with. But the shipping will be pretty tough on it. I think I'm going to try and list this one locally first. Solds on eBay. Hold on. Remember, I paid $15 for all three of these. Solds for this item on eBay, and the one I saw sold was in a little bit better condition. This one had a little bit of nick out of the cabinet on the top. It's not too bad, though. We're $160 plus shipping. And I think that shipping was in the about $35 to $40 range. So a great pickup there. Should be easy to test. Again, Bose is a great brand to be on the lookout for, even if you can't test it. If you noticed, I picked up 3 items. I paid $4.99 each. They were sold as is. I don't have power cords to test them. I picked them up with no questions. I walked in the store, I picked them up, I put them on my buggy, and I moved on. There was no question whether I was going to buy these items at $5 a piece at all. So always be on the lookout for Bose. Other items I've sold from Bose, I've sold an earbud by Bose. I think I paid $6.99 for it at the thrift store. I think I got $99 for it. But it's a great product. If you can get Bose remote controls are big money. Like I said, on this console that we talked about at the very beginning, that one, the remote alone in used condition sells for $85. Remotes. Always look through the remotes. If you see Bose, pick it up and at least comp it, as long as it's not overpriced. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you go out there and all you see now at your thrift stores is Bose electronic equipment. Also, don't be afraid to pick up those items that you're unable to test in the store, as long as they're priced appropriately. You never know when that item is going to sell well for parts and repair. So that's the best piece of advice I can give you when it comes to electronics. Comp and look it for parts and repair. You might be able to make your money back, even plus profit, even if the item is not working. I appreciate you taking a few minutes to spend with me to talk about this brand. If you like this kind of video, please consider subscribing. Hit that bell notification so you'll get notification of videos as I release them. Also, I do all my live streams on my second channel, Landshark Picker Live. Please go over and subscribe to that channel. Ring that bell over there as well. If you like this as well, please go ahead and hit that like button and share it out to as many people as you can. This is a great brand, and I wish you the best of luck on finding some Bose out there.